Hi friends, Travis here, and happy Freestyle Friday to all of you. In today's video, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. I guess that's kind of the idea behind the Freestyle Friday concept to begin with. But as you can tell by the title, today's topic is a little bit on the heavier side, so bear with me on that. I debated whether or not I was going to make this video because I don't want to be a channel that benefits off of other people's misfortunes, but also I thought it might come off a little bit clickbaity. But that's not true because I was in the Mirage when all of this was going down, and so I thought I would share my perspective on that with all of you. Last week, on Thursday, August 4th, 2022, at around 8:45 p.m., shots rang out on the 8th floor of the Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, and at that time, I was on the 6th floor of the very same building. The first question I know a lot of you are going to ask is whether or not I heard anything, and the simple answer to that is no. I was actually at the very end of a cat nap at that moment, but the people that I were with who weren't asleep at the time said that they also didn't hear anything, and I think that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, we had our window open. Yes, some of the windows in the hotels in Vegas do open slightly. It's not enough for a person to go through or anything, but it's enough to get some airflow and to get some of the outside noise coming in. And we were strip side, so we definitely had some bleed over noise from that. And so any faint sounds that were gunshots would have been interpreted as just outside noise. And I also think it's a testament to the Mirage and how well soundproofed and insulated the building is. We actually didn't hear very much of anything while we were in the room, including people in the hallway or anything. So gunshots taking place 2 floors above us wouldn't have transferred very far. The second question is, why was I there? So Carlos and I were actually staying at Circus, but the rest of our group was staying at the Mirage, and since the Mirage is a lot more centrally located on the Strip, we spent a lot of time there, more than we spent in our own hotel. But we also had a show in the Mirage that night. We booked last-minute tickets to Cirque du Soleil's Beatles tribute called Love. I definitely can recommend that show. It was one of the best I've seen in Vegas so far. But yeah, that's why we were there. We had a 9:30 show, so we were up in my friend's room about to get ready to head down to the show. The third question is what happened next. So like I said, we were getting ready for that show, so I actually woke up at about 8:55, so roughly 10 minutes after everything had happened. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary because we were in the hotel room, but we got ready and headed down to the main floor. Once we were in the ground floor elevator lobby, that's when we realized that something was off. They had people guarding the entrance to the elevator bay, and they were basically telling anyone trying to go in that they weren't allowed in, and if they had issues, they needed to go talk to the front desk. And as we were passing through them to exit the elevator bay, they told us as a heads up that for the time being, we wouldn't be allowed back in. And we of course thought that was a little bit odd, but we assumed it was like someone being rowdy, or they had someone who was super drunk and was being escorted, back to their room, or being kicked out or something like that, and that they weren't letting anyone up until that was taken care of. We didn't realize at this point that it was anything more serious than that. There was a lot of security and police presence on the casino floors we were passing through, but we didn't think much of it, and we made our way to the show. It wasn't until we were in the show that we realized that something must be really up, because when we booked our tickets, the website wasn't showing a whole lot of available seats left, and so we were expecting a full theater, but then when we got there, the theater was less than half empty, and it stayed like that throughout the duration of the performance. Again, we got kind of caught up in the show and all that and didn't really realize anything all that serious was going on until after we left the show, and then realized that there was kind of something off about the way people were acting and whatever. We had planned to go out onto the Strip and explore, maybe do some of the nightlife stuff, or at least find a bar to go sit in and drink together. But on our way back up to the room, when we got to the elevator bay, they were still blocking it off, but they were letting people in. They asked what floor we were going to, and I guess they had to keep accountability of who was going in and out of the area. And so we went back up to my friend's room on the 6th floor and turned on the news because we were very much aware that something serious was happening. And that's when we realized it was a shooting, and that of course changed the whole vibe of the evening for us. We no longer felt like we wanted to go out, and we sat there watching the news and reading different news stories and whatever, trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Some people had reported seeing stretchers going through the lobby and heading up to the 8th floor. We didn't see any of that stuff, but obviously that did happen. And so we hung out there until a little bit after midnight, and then we decided to all go back to our respective hotels and rooms. Carlos and I had the unique experience of trying to exit the Mirage, and while they weren't blocking anything off anymore at that point, there were squad cars lined up the driveway to the Mirage, and beyond that, it was a ghost town out there. And at that point, we knew it was a shooting, but we didn't know what the details of the shooting were. And it's important to note that this wasn't a mass shooting, although we didn't know at this time what was going on. This was a dispute among among family members that turned deadly. I guess the one guy shot and killed his cousin and also shot the cousin's daughter and another friend or something like that. And so that does make a difference. If it was a mass shooting, I think there would have been a lot more precautions taken and maybe evacuations and stuff like that. But none of that happened. In a lot of ways, it was business as usual. But Carlos and I were very nervous walking back down to Circus because it wasn't until the next day that we realized what type of shooting it was. And so, yeah, it's not my intention to get political with this, but I do think we can all agree that there is an issue when it comes to gun violence in this country. And until we can come up with a solution that works for everyone on all sides, we're going to continue to have these things happen. It's just really frustrating to me that this has become the norm, that we're kind of numb to this kind of thing now, and that's a very scary reality to live in. I mean, imagine having a fear of going to a very public place like Las Vegas, or for that matter, sending your kids to school and that kind of thing. Obviously, these kinds of things can happen anywhere, and it's important to know that this wasn't a mass shooting, but what if it had turned into something bigger? Or what if my friends or I were on the 8th floor and got caught in the crossfire or something to that effect? I'm wondering, what it was like in the neighboring rooms. Could you hear things? Were the yelling? What kind of chaos ensued up there? From my perspective, other than them putting the Mirage on full lockdown and things being a little bit off that evening, it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal to most people. But I feel like most people didn't understand the extent of what was going on, because obviously we didn't either. And yeah, so while I wasn't in direct contact with anyone involved in this situation, I was there when it happened, and that's kind of mind-boggling to me. A place like the Mirage with all the security measures in place, and yet we still have shootings happening 2 floors away from us. And that did resonate with us for the rest of the trip. It changed the vibe a little bit, and anytime I heard any sort of ruckus or anything happening, I wondered if that was, going to be the next big shooting or whatever. As you know, Vegas currently holds the record of having the largest mass shooting in US history, so it's not too far-fetched to believe that something like that could easily happen again. So, yeah. That's what's up. That's what happened. I was trying to keep this video on the shorter side because I like my Freestyle Friday videos to be kind of, shorter, but obviously this is a big topic. And yeah, so if you're still here with me, I hope you know that I appreciate you. And I also hope that love and kindness will reverberate through the world in the very near future, because culturally, I do feel like we're at a point where people don't care enough about each other anymore. And I'm hoping that we see a cultural shift as far as that is concerned. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. We'll talk soon, and you all have a good night.